That way it doesn't run out of battery and just boop. Welcome back to the channel. It's a beautiful night here out on the farm, so I figured might as well go check all the corn that we have coming up. We have a couple beans coming up, so I'm gonna quick grab the drone. That way I don't have to take the side-by-side across all the fields so we can see what the crop's looking like. So rather than having to drive all the way across the field, I figured let's get this drone going. Let's get it up in the air. Let's see what kind of footage we got and what the field conditions are looking like here on May 19th. Shot of the whole farm. You can really tell where all the tile lines are, and those tile lines are about 3 foot deep. That moves all the water off the field down into an outlet. That way we don't have a ton of water sitting on this field. It's about 90% dry. It's the first field we planted of soybeans. There's a couple wet spots down there, but as you can tell, the soybeans are starting to come up. It's a good sign. A lot of them are coming up. We put these at about 150,000 for a population, so there should be 150,000 little soybean plants every acre. I took the drone over to the boundary now, so this field here on the left, that's the one that we already planted with beans probably 2 weeks ago. This one on the right, that's 240 acres, and that one still has beans that need to go on the ground there. The beans are waiting in the shed. It still needs to dry out, so hopefully that one will go later on this week. Here's a good shot of some of the terraces and waterways we have built into our land. That way there's not a large amount of erosion of water rushing down and eroding away the topsoil. So here we just have some grass that just slows down the water when big heavy rains come to filter it down into the creek. To put into perspective how big the farms are out here, here is the neighbor's tractor in the field right next to ours, and here is the field that he has to do along with the field that we have already planted. So for 1 square mile out here, there's 640 acres, and those are broken up into what we call quarters, because a quarter of 640 is 160. So this field you're looking at here is 160 acres, so what I as a farmer would call a quarter section. Here comes the drone back in for landing. And now we're on our way to the next farm that's just a quick 3 miles away from here. So this was the last field of corn that we planted. As you can tell, some of them are starting to poke through. Got the old sunball out tonight. That should really start helping push some of these through. This was actually a field that we did a large test plot in. So we have different varieties, so different corn hybrids in different spots. That way we can test them and make better decisions next year, because we're always trying to improve. Let's take the drone up at this field and see how it looks. Got the controller here, drone set on the ground, ready to go. Just got to hold the sticks together and away it goes. This farm is roughly 213 acres. It's only 2 miles from the home place, so it's really nice. This one's corn, so there should be a lot better emergence here where I'm showing you with the drone now. This is a spot where water normally is sitting after big heavy rain. You can tell it's still shiny down there near that intake and near that intake, but it's definitely not as bad as what it has been in other years. Over here is where we have that test plot. Got about 30 acres worth of 18 different varieties going a half mile long, 12 rows. That way we can combine them this fall and collect the data. Here's why the drone works really good. I'm able to hover just about 2 feet above the ground and see little shoots of corn coming out. You can tell there was some heavy rain here just by how the ground's so crusted. Another reason I wanted to use the drone to look at this field, we actually lost one of the row cleaners out here at night, and I wanted to see if I could locate it using the drone. That way it doesn't get run through the corn head this fall. The drone's beeping at me that it's running out of battery, so I gotta bring her back home. That way it doesn't run out of battery and just boop, fall out of the air. drone battery only lasts for 20 minutes, but I got 3 of them total, so normally I can get an hour of drone time before I gotta recharge, head back to the farm, which is normally alright because an hour can give me a lot of time, a lot of crop scouting, and save me a lot of time in the Ranger and just walking by foot. Here's a shot of the field that I worked in our last video with the pond right there. You can tell the corn is definitely up. It's a good 1-2 inches out of the ground, which is what I like to see. There's one last thing I usually check to see what the field conditions are like, and that's this drainage ditch. So you can tell there's a tile line there that brings all the water from that other farm we were at in here, and normally if that's running, it's a good sign that we got water on some of them farms, and we're probably not able to get in the field quite yet. I quick ran to a couple extra farms after that last one and made sure everything was looking good. Check for emergence, check for seed spacing. Everything's looking good. Looks like the planter that's behind me is actually doing a really good job for us this year. Glad we made a bunch of those upgrades to it, that being speed tube and clean sweep. We do have about 300 acres of beans yet to go. Looks like the weather's gonna be on our side for the next 5 or 6 days, so we should get those hammered out here in that time. But that's gonna be it for today's video. Thanks so much everyone for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.